Okay, let's take a look at Google Photos and what it can do for us. Okay, first of all, I'm in Google Classroom, so I need to go up here to the Google Apps array, just click on it and scroll down until I find the Photos app, and there it is. If you have access or have the ability to access and use Adobe software products in their Creative Cloud, that would be Adobe Photoshop Lightroom Classic, Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. Classic is my preference. It's just the interface. It's the original one, and I'm more familiar with it. And Adobe Photoshop. But Google Photos does have a lot of tools to bring to bear. It is a decent editing app. Some 7-Up can with looks like maybe the gym in the background there. The two main areas we're going to go. The first one is the info. So in the right-hand column here, this gives me all the information called metadata. So the metadata you'll find in the right-hand column here. At the top, you find the calendar information. April 6th, Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock is when this photo was taken. The person who took it's one of the students I had last year. The size of the file is 2.7 megapixels. And finally, we come to the most important information, and that is the exposure triangle information. This tells me the kind of camera used. It's a brand new Canon EOS Rebel T7. These are cameras we got middle of last year, brand new 35 millimeter cameras. The f-stop was 10. Shutter speed was 1/500th of a second. Very wide angle, 18 millimeters, and the ISO is a low 200. The main editing tool up here is a little icon of the three sliders. So we click on that, and that takes us into Google Photos Editing Suite. So the first of the tools is the color filters. Right now, we're just trying to make the best exposure we can. Okay, and to do that, we use the other tools. The three slider icon here again is the main photo editing suite in Google Photos. Tools, it looks really simple, doesn't it? We have a slider for light, a slider for color, and a slider for pop, whatever pop is. And if we just experiment with the slider and see what happens, we can see if we go to the right, it looks like it just makes the exposure brighter and brighter and brighter. Conversely, if we go to the left, instead of f8, we're now at f32 using the same shutter speed and ISO, and it got dark on us. See what happens when we slide the color. If we go to the right, the colors get more vibrant. If we go to the left, it desaturates. The pop button, you can see what that finds the edges of the objects and creates contrast so they stand out a little more, so it pops more. So if I take it all the way over, yeah, things really pop, but it also looks a little weird. Usually if you use it, just a subtle adjustment is all you need. You want to focus up on the other two sliders. That's where you're going to do most of your work. So if I click on the arrow on the side of the light one, that gives me something that looks much more like the basics panel in Adobe Photoshop Lightroom or Lightroom Classic. Here's the exposure slider. Just like I showed you in Lightroom, it basically does the same thing. So as I said, when I originally looked at this, I thought it was a little dark. So I might consider bumping the light up a little bit. And I think that is a better exposure already. And remember, these sliders in Google Photos, the editing tools are going to affect the whole photo. Contrast, that's going to create more of a range between the bright and darks. And if I go to the left, that's going to flatten out the tone. So a little bump on the highlight looks like a good idea to me. I'm going to take that up a little bit. And then conversely, again, just like with the contrast, if I slide it to the right, I get a little bit of highlight and a little bit of shadow at the same time. But this way I can tweak it. I might want more of a bump in the highlights than I do in the shadows. And if I just use the contrast tool, it just gives me, so it's the same kind of balance of both with the slide, either way I slide. So if I take the shadows to the right, so you can see how it starts to wash out a little bit. So I want to go the other way. I just wanted a bump on the highlights, and we want to pick up a little contrast. And that way we don't need to worry about using that pop slider later. That looks pretty good. I think maybe a little more of a highlight here. And then we also have the whites and the blacks. So the lightest values and the darkest values you can also grab a hold of. If I take this all the way over, wherever those real bright pixels are, there's mixed into the areas of concrete where you got light, very light grays and whites, the clouds, highlights in the can and the wrappers and stuff like that. And the blacks do the same thing. So I'm going to bump up the lights a little bit and take the blacks this way. Actually, there, I wanted to go this way too with that. Also, there's a vignette tool. If you really want to focus on what's in the middle or something specific like this, it can have a nice effect, especially with portraits. Okay, so that, I don't actually want any of the vignette effect here. We'll keep the light adjustments there. It feels a little better. Brighten the exposure a little bit, deepen the shadows a little bit. It's a little crisper. Now let's take a look at the color panel. Again, we have a few specific adjustments. We have the basic color panel. We can slide all the way to the right and get more vibrant color, all the way to the left and desaturate the thing so it's grayscale. And the saturation tool is basically the same thing. I can take a look at the warmth. I want to experiment with this. I might want a little more warmth because it feels like a fairly coolish picture, especially with the concrete and all that blue sky. Is kind of nice right about there. The tint, I don't tend to use the tint too much unless I'm trying to bump up just a little bit of color. If I slide to the right, that's going to bring out those magenta, rosy magenta colors. It gives it kind of an all over cast. If we go the other way, I'll get this kind of yellow greenish cast. This can help in Google Photos if you shot using the wrong white balance setting. But generally, I leave the slider alone. If I use it, it's just a touch. Skin tone, I don't know what to tell you about skin tone. It's just kind of handling color that is, I guess, more of the what we would call earth tones that skin is, the range of skin from pink to dark brown and various shades in between are going to be affected. You know, so similar colors that you have in the image. You can see the warm tones in the rock work or the concrete work in the building in the background become a little more vibrant if I slide it to the right, a little less vibrant to the left. So it's just another way to tweak color. I don't think I really need to deal with pop very much. It's just gonna the only to see its effect, it's just gonna make it look a little odd. Now, one more tool to look at before we leave here is the cropping and straightening tool. I can click auto and Google thinks that's what's level. If I reset it, now Google's playing off the 7-Up can. Now, if I had the ability to draw a line here, we would notice that the 7-Up can is actually tilted to the left. So whoever took this photograph must have been centering on something else. They may have been using the planter box here, which looks fairly level. But when we click auto, that actually looks pretty good. I got to say, I like the fact that the 7-Up can looks balanced, and that anchors the photo a little better. Now, in here, I can also play away and crop. I can play around with aspect ratio, 4:3, which gives you a little more height to width on your aspect ratio. 3:2 is what that's your 35 millimeter aspect ratio. Flip to portrait. That's just taking the same aspect ratio, but taking a vertical format, cropping a lot of the photo out, keeping everything the same scale, and you have your 2:3 aspect ratio in a vertical format. Okay, let's reset that. Okay, I reset it, which means I lost the auto correct there. I can also use the square tool. I can move the photo around within the square. Okay, I want to get out of square mode. There we go. I can also just grab corners and drag them. And I'm sure this isn't anything radical or new for a lot of you. You probably experimented around with this. And again, I can move the photo in the background around the selected area. and whatever the highlighted area is what's gonna be saved. The 7-Up can slightly off-centered. It makes this bits of, trash or recycling, much more of a secondary emphasis in the photo by cropping out a lot of the building activity over here on the right. I actually kinda like this, view. I'm gonna go ahead and click Done. Okay. Um, but I'm just gonna collect Done and consider myself happy with this.